cargo ship. The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. A huge fire raised a docked cargo ship in Del Pan, Tondo, Manila this morning. Now, as of 9:10 in the morning, the fire has already reached the third alarm and has not yet been declared the fire out. This is a developing story and we'll give you more updates as soon as we have it. Meanwhile, a flag-raising ceremony took place at the Rizal Park in Manila today in celebration of the country's 123rd Independence Day. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno led the ceremony in Rizal Park today. At around 8 in the morning today also, the flag or the Philippine flag was also raised in Baraswain Church in Bulacan. Local officials also laid the wreath in the monument of the first President of the Philippines, Emilio Aguinaldo. In Zambales, a fluvial protest led by fishermen will be held in a disputed area in the West Philippine Sea to celebrate Independence Day. Now, here are the latest on the country's Independence Day celebrations. Vice President Leni Robredo shared an Independence Day message urging Filipinos to unite in spite of adversity. She said the Filipinos' shared history in achieving independence is a testament that we have or we can achieve collectively. She says that Filipinos need to act as one so that no one may undermine our hard-earned freedom. She adds that we should learn from our history in trying to find ways to find solutions to our current problems, and that as long as Filipinos are united, there is no adversity that we cannot overcome. Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Locsin greeted overseas Filipinos and commended healthcare workers and other frontliners for all their efforts throughout the pandemic. He thanked them for their, quote, selfless service and gentle nurture. Locsin also vowed to continue OFW repatriations, saying that no Filipino shall be left behind. Lastly, Locsin says that while normalcy is yet to be restored due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation is continuously improving with the help of Filipino frontliners.
As we heal together, let us celebrate our nationhood together. And if we cannot do it physically, DFA will bring all this to you in your homes. I cannot say for certain that normalcy will be completely restored, but I believe that down the dark tunnel, the global situation will improve. And the Filipino diaspora is part of the light at the end of it. Pandemic or not, this is the best time to be Filipino. Mabuhay.
Meanwhile, overseas Filipino workers in Middle East commemorated Independence Day by reciting the Panatang Makabayan to protest China's incursions in the West Philippine Sea. The Middle East chapter of Isambayan organized the webinar, which was attended by OFWs from Israel, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Isambayan Middle East Coordinator Reverend Fred Carmelo said that the OFWs continue to fight for independence from superpowers like China that take the country's territory and control the Duterte administration. Carmelo adds that their small patriotic gesture is genuine, unlike that of Duterte, who vowed to ride a jet ski to assert the country's sovereignty, which he later shrugged off as a mere campaign joke. Finally, urban poor group Kadamay in their Independence Day protest lamented how Chinese interests have been allegedly given preferential treatment while poor Filipinos suffer. Kadamay Secretary General Mimi Doringo lambasted President Duterte, saying that he is very giving to China's whims and sardonically asked if the president is truly from Davao or China. Doringo added that the country is at its worst crisis, politically and economically, since World War II, and that Duterte is steering the country further downward. One witness in the
National
ambush.
Bureau of Investigation has recommended.
Meanwhile, one witness of the ambush of Calbayog City Mayor Ronald Aquino claims politics is the motive behind the killing of the local chief executive. For its part, Police Chief Guillermo Elizar placed the police officers involved in the ambush under restrictive custody. Marlene Alcaide with the details.
The National Bureau of Investigation has recommended the filing of murder and frustrated murder charges against 9 police officers involved in the killing of Calbayog Mayor Ronald Aquino last March. The NBI disputed police claims that Mayor Aquino's camp started a gunfight.
Confident that we have an airtight case, this being a result of a thorough and impartial investigation conducted by our regional office, the Eastern Visayas Regional Office, headed by Acting Regional Director.
The NBI based its findings on the sworn statements of 53 witnesses, as well as CCTV footages minutes before the ambush. The CCTV footage along Maharlika Highway showed that a silver SUV with plate number ZBM 392 abruptly took a U-turn when they came across Mayor Aquino's convoy. The SUV then followed Mayor Aquino's vehicle. A few minutes later, the mayor asked his staff in the backup vehicle to buy something in the market. Aquino's backup vehicle stopped and got separated from the mayor's vehicle. The mayor's van can be seen flying along the highway, while the silver SUV continued to trail the mayor's vehicle. Then, 3 other vehicles can be seen following the mayor's van. When they reached Labuyao Bridge, the white pickup collided with the mayor's vehicle. Then the ambush took place. The white pickup and black SUV immediately fled the crime scene. As CCTV footage, men wearing bulletproof vests and bonnets transferring the long firearms from the white pickup to the black SUV.
As to the CCTV, it will tell us that this is not just a chance encounter.
The NBI found 2 cellular phones in the crime scene. Text messages showed that Mayor Aquino had been subjected to monitoring as early as October 2020. Another text message showed that Aquino had been falsely implicated to illegal drug trade. These messages matched the account of Master Sergeant Jose Senario. He claimed that politics is the motive behind the killing.
Kasi that time, sir, 2 options kasi yung ibinigay sa akin. It's either to apply search warrant or i-ambush na lang si Mayor Aquino.
Sino nagbigay ng option?
Si Satabal at that time.
PNP Chief Eleazar said he will put these police officers in restrictive custody. Aquino's family thanked the NBI and the Senate. The family remains fearful for their safety, but hopeful that justice will soon be served. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. An SWS survey back in May found that observance of health protocols in Visayas and Mindanao have declined significantly. This after reports of a surge in cases in both island groups. Meanwhile, in a separate study by the Octa Research Group, majority of areas outside NCR with high infections are found in the 2 regions. Jeva Vansenya with the details.
Facing face masks not worn properly, no face shield, no social distancing. This is the typical scenario outside a hospital in South Cotabato. It's the same scenario in General Santos City, which has been recently placed under GCQ. People lining up in banks were not properly distanced.
Hindi ako lumalabas sa bahay lang.
Bihira lang.
Ngayon lang kasi wala kaming ulam.
Pero marami ka napapansin mga pasaway.
Oo, kaya natatakot ako.
More violators were also seen roaming around the city's public market.
Alam ng mga tao na may pinatutupad na social distancing pero di talaga nagagawa yan dito. Wala ring hugas kamay. Sa mask, depende sa tao. Di kasi maiwasan. Yan talaga ugali ng Pinoy.
Non-compliance with protocols is backed up by numbers from the April to May SWS survey. While compliance rose in Metro Manila and Balance Luzon, it dropped dramatically in Visayas and Mindanao. In terms of wearing masks, results for both regions declined by 14 points. Washing hands slumped by 13 points in Mindanao and 6 points in Visayas. Keeping physical distance slumped by 18 points in Mindanao and by 14 in Visayas. Wearing of face shields declined sharply in the Visayas by 31 points while it dropped by 15 points in Mindanao. Based on the latest report of the Octa Research Group, 8 out of 10 areas with most daily COVID-19 cases are in the 2 islands. Davao region alone has close to 5,600 active cases. Nearly 3,500 are in Caraga, while more than 3,000 active cases were reported in Socsargen.
The rise in cases ay unti-unti talagang tumataas dito sa Region 11, specific sa Davao City, and meron siyang mga factors ngayon na na-identify tayo, katulad nung clustering sa workplace.
The government is looking at enforcing stricter protocols in Visayas and Mindanao to prevent any further surge in cases. For News 5, Jem Avancenia, we are One News.
An infectious disease expert warns that Visayas and Mindanao can experience a surge in cases like in the NCR Plus if COVID-19 infections continue to increase. Speaking to One News, the big story, San Lazaro Hospital adult infectious disease head Dr. Ronchin Solante said that he is disappointed over reports of non-compliance with health protocols in Visayas and Mindanao. With this, Solante warns that these regions will see a surge in cases like in Metro Manila and nearby provinces if people continue to neglect the minimum public health standards.
The only way we can somehow decrease the risk of transmission among people, especially with increased mobility now, pumupunta na sa work, pumupunta na sa mga transportation. So the risk is always there, but I don't know what happened to our awareness on this matter of prevention.
Solante adds that vaccines will not be as effective if the public continues not to comply with health protocols.
Even if you give the highest efficacy vaccine, but you are not implementing the health protocol, then the attack rate, the cases will still be high. That's why when we are implementing vaccination, at the same time, we also have to be strictly implementing also the health protocol at the same time.
LGUs outside NCR are condemning the inequitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, but the government assures them more supplies are on the way. Here's the rest of the story.
Just like it did a few days ago, Antipolo City has once again halted its vaccination drive. In a Facebook post on Friday, Mayor Andeng Inares is leaving it up to fate as they await new doses. As she had said recently, sana all madaming bakuna tulad ng Metro Manila. Despite being part of the NCR Plus bubble, the mayor said their allocation is less than 10% of Manila and Quezon City's allotment. On 1PH sa Totoo Lang, League of Provinces of the Philippines National Chairman and Quirino Governor Dax Cua said he understands the need to prioritize NCR, but he stressed provinces should not be neglected. Cua is urging the government to provide additional doses to provinces outside the metro.
Sana bigyan natin ng pansin yon kasi kailangan na po talagang mabigyan ng protection yung mga areas na nag-experience ng surge.
On Thursday alone, the country received 3 million additional supply of COVID-19 vaccines. 1 million are from Sinovac, 2.3 million are Pfizer shots donated by the COVAX facility. This marks the largest single delivery of vaccines in the country so far. During the arrival of Pfizer shots, Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez said areas outside NCR Plus 8 will also get shipments.
We will expand on other areas that we have seen a lot of rising cases. The different areas that have been identified by the President includes Cagayan de Oro, the areas of Visayas, in Iloilo, Bacolod, Samar, Ormoc, and also in the areas of Zamboanga, Pagadian, Cagayan de Oro, and also General Santos.
Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said they are hoping that vaccine supply in the country will be stable by July or August. She also urged LGUs to speed up vaccinations by expanding their strategies to make inoculations more accessible to Filipinos.
First, master listing should be done. This is the only way that we can organize. Second, we need to enable the environment so that everybody can have more access. No, for example, we can also do on-site aside from on-site vaccination sites, we can do house-to-house, we can do mobile vaccination.
LPP is set to meet this weekend to make a collective stand on the country's prioritization for the vaccine rollout. Arian Kalumbiran, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.